So if you've been betting against Shiba Inu and hoping for some lower prices, some deeper discounts to accumulate, I have some bad news for you. It looks like you may not be getting those prices. Now, this isn't a guarantee or anything like that. We know things can change very quickly in the crypto market. Things can move lower. We can see some more discounted prices. But at the same time, we can see things move the opposite direction. And what we've seen over the last 24 hours to the tune of 3 trillion Shiba Inu, I believe is very indicative about where things are headed here in the near term. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So I have to say, SHIB is looking a little bouncy right now. Actually, we closed yesterday's daily candle for Shiba Inu up 1.5%, while most of the market was red. Most of the market was bleeding. All right. And now Shiba Inu has a 3.7% daily candle, actually setting a higher price than what it did over the last 24 hours. How many other assets, when we look around the space, are doing this right now? Not a whole lot. You know, Pepe is having a decent candle day. And what's interesting here is when we look across the meme coin market, who's basically the only one that's green? It looks like AI 16Z has a green day, but I mean, guys, SHIB is crushing it compared to other meme coins right now. And obviously crushing it is a loose term. 2.7% isn't a massive move. But again, when we look at those last 7 days, SHIB has been, despite the market bleeding, despite meme coins bleeding, SHIB has been one of the slowest bleeders, right? It's, I don't want to say it's bleeding out slowly, right? But what you're seeing is a lot of conviction in terms of holders. You're seeing a lot of conviction in terms of price. And there comes a point where assets plant their feet in the ground and start to move the opposite direction. We may have actually just seen this in terms of SHIB. In fact, what we're looking like is we may have set kind of a double bottom off of our candle we experienced last Sunday. Now, this isn't a guarantee. You know, it's possible we could see some further downside. However, what we've seen over the last 24 hours, I think is indicative of what we may see moving forward. So we've talked about whales and the accumulation they've been doing over the last month. And you need to remember that in the last 30 days, there's been 3 dump days, three days where whales have actually sold Shiba Inu, all right, where we had a negative net flow. In fact, all those other days, they were positive. They've been building and building and building their position. And guess what? Whales are really beginning to realize the discount that is here, because over the last 24 hours, we saw whales add 3.5 trillion Shiba Inu to their bags. 3.5 trillion, yes. And this is the largest day we have seen since July of 2024, okay? So yes, these are deep discounts. Whales are building their bags in a big way. In fact, we look at where prices were at in July of 2024. Basically, we were getting down below these levels we're at currently. So they're witnessing, they're realizing the discounts that are here currently. Now, what's interesting as well is, again, the trend for exchanges continues to drop and drop and drop. Right now, I know that I have a viewer that always wants to see how much is available on exchanges, 96.5 trillion Shiba Inu. So this has dropped off severely since the prices that we saw in July of 2024. Now, there was a great question that came along with this as well, and that is, you know, this supply that we're seeing on exchanges, does this include people that have bought Shiba Inu but don't plan on selling? And yes, it does. And I think that's a big thing that people forget, right? People will look at 96.5 trillion and say, oh yeah, that's still a lot of SHIB. Well, what if you have a large group of people on exchanges that have bought Shiba Inu that don't plan on selling anytime soon? There's a lot of them. I know people in my daily life that have bought Shiba Inu that still hold it on exchanges, because guess what? That's where most retail holds assets. It's on centralized exchanges. What you need to know is that supply is dropping very quickly, and there's always an inflection point where the available supply is below what the demand is. And what's interesting for SHIB is it looks like we're starting to settle into those places. Last summer, it took us getting all the way down to basically 4012 to 4014. Right now, we're doing it right at about 4015, 4016. So again, Shiba Inu, what it's trying to do is plant its foot in the ground and start to accelerate to the upside. This may be that time where it happens. Now, obviously, again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. Trends can change in the market very quickly. But when people start to take notice of what's happening here, they tend to pile on top of this. They tend to push prices further. They tend to magnify the trend that is starting to form in terms of shib. Okay. Now understand that this could take days to play out, weeks, months, and maybe that's not what people want to hear, right? But the FOMO that can come off this can make SHIB do some very exciting things in a very short period of time. I want to remind people, when SHIB started to flip this trend around here back in January of 2024, it still took until the end of February before SHIB saw its rocket ride, right? We've been just waiting for this moment for SHIB to kind of calm down, for the market to cool down, or for the market to calm down and start pushing things the opposite direction. And right here, what we're seeing in trends across the market, this move from open interest to spot trading, this still big whales stepping in and buying, it's all happening just like it always does. So anybody right now that's calling for the bear market or saying that we're going to add a zero back in terms of SHIB or stuff like that, it doesn't really have much bearing. The trends are actually showing the opposite. And I think from what happens from here could end up being pretty exciting. We'll see if we can carry any weight through the weekend. Again, weekends tend to be kind of lower in terms of volume in general. I mean, meme coin volume over the last 24 hours is down about 7%, but volume across the crypto market is still remaining above 125 billion. Definitely some stuff to watch. So I just want to share that with you guys. I appreciate you as always. We are seeing good signs in the market right now, despite the price dropping, despite us having some red days, throughout. Understand that, again, price is always the lagging metric. It's always the last thing to move. And right now, those fundamentals, they are getting even better. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.